Hello friends, welcome back, and if you are new to our channel, thank you for stopping by. This is a beautiful knitting pattern which requires stitches in the multiple of 4 plus 2. So I've taken 24 stitches plus 2. So let's begin the first row. Now for the first row we do 2 number of purl. This is the first row of the pattern. We are starting the pattern straight away. So 2 purl complete. Now what we do is we pass the needle from behind the 2 stitches on the left needle. It is not going to pass through the stitch, but it is just going to pass from the front to the back. After we get the loop, we are going to put it back into the left needle. Now we are going to do a knit of the 2 stitches together, that is the original stitch as well as the extended loop that we got, but the knit has to be in a different style, that is from up downwards, and then we do a regular knit. Now yarn forward 2 number of purl. That is the repeat what we need to do. Now yarn backwards. The right needle passes from the front to the back. Please remember, it is not passing through any stitch. Then we put the yarn or the extended loop back into the left needle. We do the 2 stitches together, that is knit, but the yarn has to go from up downwards, and then a regular knit followed by 2 number of purl. Now yarn backwards. Again we are going to do it. 2 stitches, we can see clearly the needle is passing through it. Now we do a regular knit and pull a long loop which is put back into the left needle. Now we are going to work 2 stitches together, that is we are going to knit, but the yarn is going to go from up towards the lower end, then a regular knit and 2 number of purl. Now yarn backwards. Again the needle passes through the back of the 2 stitches. We pull a long loop and put back the loop into the left needle. Now we have 2 stitches out there which we are going to work together. We are going to knit it, but the winding of the yarn has to be from up downwards, then a regular knit, then yarn forward and 2 number of purl. That's the pattern. Again the needle passed from behind the 2 stitches, a long loop pulled, the loop is put back into the left needle, then we are going to do 2 stitches together. It has to be a knit, but the winding has to be from up downwards, then a regular knit and 2 number of purl. So this is the pattern which we need to repeat. We have reached the end. We have 2 stitches, so one of it is going to be a purl, the other we are going to do a knit because it is the side stitch. If you wish to, we can do 2 purls as well. Now moving on to the second row of our pattern. Now what we do, the first stitch we slip and then we are going to do 1 number of knit. Now 2 number of purl. We have to work according to what the stitch demands, that is 2 knit 2 purl. This is 2 number of knit, yarn forward, 2 number of purl. Again yarn backwards, 2 number of knit, yarn forward, 2 number of purl. That is we have to do in the second row. So let us keep continuing. That is 2 number of purl and yarn backwards, 2 number of knit. This is the second row of the pattern. Now 2 number of purl, yarn backwards, a knit one purl. So our second row is complete. Now let's move on to the third row of the pattern. Now this particular row, that is the third row, is actually shifting of the stitches. So the edge stitch we do a knit, and now we have to start shifting. That is, the stitch which is in the second position in the left needle is going to come before the first stitch. That means the second stitch is going to take the first position and the first stitch is going to take the second position, and then we are going to do a knit of both the stitches. Now the two stitches again is going to shift positions, but this time we are going to do it from the back side of the work. Now the second stitch comes to the front side and the front stitch goes to the back side. So that is done. Now this is actually the repetition. This shifting once we have to do from the front side and once from the back side. This is being done from the front side. We have to be careful with the stitch as we have chances of slipping the stitch. Once the shifting is done, we are just going to do a regular knit. Now here shifting is going to take place from the back side. So the stitch in the second position is going to come in the front, and then we are going to do 2 number of knit. That's it. This is the process that needs to be repeated till the end. Let us again take the 2 stitches into consideration. The second stitch coming in the front position, the stitch is being put back into the left needle, then we do a knit followed by another knit. That's it. Now we are going to shift the stitches, but from the back side. The second stitch is going to come in the first position and the first stitch is going to the second position, and then again we do knit and again another knit. So this is the pattern that is to be repeated till the end. Again shifting of the stitches. The second stitch comes to the first position. We have to be careful. If required, we are going to pinch the head of the stitch to put it back into the needle, and then we are going to do 2 number of knit. The first is done, that's the second. Now shifting of the stitches from the back side. The second stitch comes in the front and the front one goes at the back, and we are going to do 2 number of knit. So we are going to repeat The pattern is not very tough once we get used to it. So again let us do the shifting from the front side. Now the shifting of the stitches has taken place. So I'm going to do 2 number of knit, that's the first one, followed by the second one. Now the final shifting is to be done. And the end stitch is going to be a knit. The fourth row is very simple. We are just going to purl all across. So my 4th row is complete. Now let's move on to the 5th row. We are going to start off with 2 number of knit and then yarn forward 2 number of purl. Now let's start off. Behind the 2 stitches we are going to pass a right needle and pull a long loop and put it back into the left needle. Then we are going to work the 2 stitches together but from up towards the lower end, and then we are doing a regular knit and 2 number of purl. Again 2 stitches into consideration. We are going to pull a long loop, put back the loop in the left needle, and we are going to work the 2 stitches together, but the twisting of the yarn will be from up towards the lower end, and then a regular knit and then 2 number of purl. Now the needle goes behind the 2 stitches. We are pulling a long loop. The long loop is put back into the left needle. We are working the 2 stitches together. We are doing a knit, but it will be from up towards the lower end. Then a knit, regular knit, followed by 2 number of purl. That is the sequence that is to be repeated. For instance, here the long loop is already in the left needle. We are taking the 2 stitches together. We are doing a knit, but the yarn will go from up towards the lower end. Then a regular knit and 2 number of purl. Actually, the 5th row that we are doing now is similar to the 1st row, just that the position of the pattern has been changed. Because we don't want the pattern to lie just one above the other. So here finishing of the row with 2 number of knit. One is the edge stitch actually. Now moving on to the 6th row. We do 2 number of purl. One is the edge stitch and other is the pattern stitch, and then yarn backwards, 2 number of knit, yarn forward, 2 number of purl. That is the sequence for the 6th row that is to be done till the end, or we can say close to the end. That is 2 knit, 2 purl. This particular pattern will look beautiful in babies cardigan, children's cardigan, ladies cardigan. It is going to come out very pretty. So you can try this pattern if you have any project in hand. Finishing off the row with 2 number of purl. One is the edge stitch and other is the pattern stitch. So our 6th row is complete. Now we will be moving on to the 7th row. Now 7th row is actually where the twisting of the stitches will take place. So we do 2 knit, 1 purl, and now the twisting is going to take place. That is, the 2nd stitch is going to come to the front and the stitch which is in the front is going to go at the back, but it has to be done from the right side. The stitches are put back. We are going to work 1 knit and another knit, that is 2 knit. Now again we are going to shift the stitches, but that has to take place from the back side. So getting the 2nd stitch in the front, and the front stitch is going to take the back position, and then we do 2 number of knit. So that is how the twisting of the stitches is taking place. Now again we are going to twist the stitches, but this time from the front side. So if required, we are going to pinch the head of the stitch and put it back in the needle, because once it slips out it becomes difficult to put if we do not pinch the stitch. And then we are going to do knit, 2 number of knit. Yes, that's done. Now again shifting of the stitches, but this time from the back side. So the second stitch is going to take the front position and the front is going to take the second position. After that we are going to do 2 number of knit. That is the sequence that needs to be followed. Now again shifting of the stitches, the second stitch comes in the first position. Now I see I'm pinching the stitch. It looks a bit unprofessional, I know, but that makes our work easier, and for the ones who are trying this pattern for the first time, it will make the work much easier in the initial stages. So it doesn't matter if you pinch the stitch. So let us continue with the sequence. This is our 7th row. We are about to finish this row. So that's the final shifting. Now yarn forward, we do a purl and then 2 number of knit as we had done in the starting of the row. So our 7th row is complete. This is how the pattern looks. Now moving on to the 8th row. The 8th row is very easy. We are just going to purl all across. So this completes our pattern. Eighth row complete. Starting the first row, 2 number of purl, yarn backwards, knit by passing from behind the 2 stitches. We pull a long loop, put back the loop in the left needle. We are going to work the 2 stitches together, but the yarn will go from up towards the lower end. Then a knit, then 2 number of purl. Again the right needle goes from behind the 2 stitches. We pull a long loop, the loop is put back into the left needle. Now we work the 2 stitches together, but the yarn will go from up towards the lower end. Then a regular knit and then 2 number of purl. That is the sequence we are going to repeat. And here I am close to the finishing point. The right needle goes from behind the 2 stitches, pulling a long loop, putting back the loop into the left needle, working the 2 stitches together, a knit, but it has to go from up towards the lower end, then a knit and 1 purl and a knit. That's the edge stitch. Moving on to the second row, we slip 1 stitch and we do 1 knit, then yarn forward, 2 number of purl, yarn backwards, 2 number of knit. That is the sequence. Yarn backwards, 2 number of knit, yarn forward, 2 number of purl. And here I am close to the end, so doing 2 number of purl, yarn backwards, 1 knit, and the edge stitch I am going to do a purl. So our second row is complete. Moving on to the third row, first stitch we do a knit, or we can just slip it off, and now the shifting of the stitches going to take place. That is, the stitch in the second position is going to come in the front, and the stitch in the front is going in the second position, but it has to be done from the front side of the work. Then we do regular knit, 2 number of knit. Now again the shifting of the 2 stitches has to be done from behind the work. So the second stitch comes in the front and the front stitch takes the back position, and then we do 2 number of knit. That is the sequence. Now again shifting, that is the second stitch is going to come in the first position, but that has to be done from the front side of the work. Once the shifting is complete, we do 2 number of knit, the regular knit, and now the shifting of the stitch again from behind the work. The second stitch comes in the front position and the front one goes at the second position, and then a regular knit. So that is the sequence. That's the third row. That is the sequence which needs to be done till the end of the row. Once we complete a few rows, working becomes much easier. Here too the position of the stitches has changed, if you notice the pattern properly. If you notice the pattern, you will see the pattern is being formed in between the 2 patterns. And here I've reached the end. The twisting of the stitches is taking place again from the front side, and then we do 2 number of regular knit, and now the shifting is going to take place from the back side, and then we do 2 number of regular knit and finishing off the edge stitch with a knit. So our third row is complete. Now the fourth row is very easy. We are just going to purl all across. So this is the beautiful pattern that I had told you I'm going to show. And one thing we must remember is that after every 4 rows the position of the pattern keeps changing, because we don't want our pattern to lie just one above the other. We want it to lie in a slightly diagonal manner so that it looks good. So this is how it is to be done. My lovely friends, I hope you all will use this pattern for your future projects. And as I always say, do not forget to share, subscribe and comment. To hit the like button if you found the video interesting and useful. If you are new to our channel, do take a moment to subscribe and stay tuned for more of interesting videos. So till we meet again, it is bye-bye.